All right, welcome in everybody to this very special production, the SNN Road America 125. They raced on Independence Day, so we are just now getting it covered. Taking a look, we had some really good racing, but I guess you'll find that out, as this is, of course, the Davis Brothers Roofing Sunday Night NASCAR League. They are racing at Road America today, 78 degrees. 113-degree track temperature. Of course, fantastic race, high altitude. Should be a really fun race. Let's dive right into it. Right now, we've got Matt Baker taking his laps around the track. Matt Baker has been up top for a while. He is a road course favorite. Won his first race, I believe it was at Coda, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be a fun one here. Sonoma, that's where it was. I won at Sonoma. So it should be a good race here as he's going to lead us around, see what his lap times are looking like. As you see, a lot of people right now qualifying. Thomas Neal throwing up a 212. Dean Weeks a 212 as well. A little bit slower on that second lap as Matt is bringing it around town. So these guys did race on Independence Day. That's when this race took place. But we are watching it live for the first time now as Austin Story is racing in your second place. James Howard right now sitting in third. To give you guys a view of our qualifying and how it's looking. So it should be like a good race between Austin Story and James Howard and Matt Baker up there. So all these guys looking to come back, have a good race, and lock themselves into the playoffs. The playoffs are creeping up. These guys follow the exact same schedule as the real life NASCAR, so that's where they are at here at Road America. A lot of road courses this season, so a lot of guys getting their feet wet in road racing, as you can see here. And we've got just a little bit of what's going on. Let's take a look at their playoff standings. As we're seeing James Howard take his second lap. So, of course, right now, Joseph Stafford is in first place with 2 wins. Raymond Root has 2 wins. Ryan Samuelson, 2 wins as well. But Matt Baker, the one who's coming in, he's got 1 win so far behind Austin Story, Chad Sanders, Seba Cornez, Barrett Coffey in 8th in the playoffs right now. Kavaja Holt 9th. J.C. Gibson 10th. So a lot of wins spread out. Not too many spots for the playoffs. I think it's an 18-car playoff. Correct me if I'm wrong there. As Nicholas Breidenbach holds last place on points in that 18th position. So let's see here as we're going to be finishing up qualifying here shortly. See how them guys out there taking their laps. I'll let you listen in and catch a lap here. Hopefully we can ride on somebody on their out lap. Seems like Jeff O'Rourke's taking his out lap. So unable to finish that lap as he ran out of time, but gave us some good, valuable information on Road America. Of course, it is in Wisconsin, so it is a very traditional flat road course, very technical turns. It's not like the curves and S's that you see of the variety that you get at Coda or a Sonoma, so it's very old-fashioned. As they're going to be gridding up here, I'm going to take you along and show you kind of what we got going on with the cars. Once everybody grids up here, we're going to get going here with the Davis Brothers Roofing Road America 125. So, starting out, we're going to show your grid here. Matt Baker in that number 98 car. Let's see if we can get a good angle on that. Austin Story in that number 2, in that second position, that number 23. James Howard in third. Seba Cornez in fourth. Chad Sanner starting fifth. Thomas Neal. There we go. Thomas Neal in sixth place. Mike Contino, 7th. Dean Weeks, 8th. David Love, 9th. Robert Nestor, rounding out your top 10. Chris Claude, 11th. Steve Dardarius, they're in 12th. Dave Regal, 13th. Joe Stafford, your points leader, leading the playoffs in 14th. Tom McGee, 15th. Barrett Coffey, just now gridding up. Maybe waiting there is Nicholas Breidenbeck. Is going to be in your 17th position. Dave Medeiros, let's get that grid back up. There we go. Devin Medeiros, Brian Tarnowski, Jeff O'Rourke, Lauren Jones, 21st, Kevin Rourke, 22nd. As we are ready to rock here, they are going to get going. Following that Porsche, being led around by Matt Baker. We're going to take our out lap here. Should be a good one. So as they do that, we're going to kind of run you through the turns. Turn 1, of course. You've already passed, but here's turn 2, kind of a decreasing radius turn leading into a pretty long straightaway. It's going to be a really good passing zone, this straightaway, as you got a little bit of kink turning to the right. So something to keep an eye out for. And that passing lane there is that section 1. With 2-minute lap times, it should be a really good quick race, 31 laps. To the finish. No cautions. Of course, it being a 4-mile course, you're looking at maybe 30 or maybe 10 to 14 laps, maybe 15 if you can stretch it on fuel. And with no yellows tires, it's going to be another business entirely. Coming around our final turn now on the pace laps. Everybody's going to line up 2 by 2. We're going to get this thing started. Matt Baker going to be leading them around, taking that outside lane. I guess inside, because we're turning right. Going to get a great push by James Howard. That's going to take him and James Howard ahead. Siva Cornez following in fourth. Chad Sanner, Thomas Neal, Mike Contino, everybody else getting rolling as well. So let's see, turn 1. Always a trouble in road courses. Seems like everybody able to navigate. And let's see how they handle that negative apex there of turn 2. 12 getting pushed a little wide, getting into the dirt. That's Robert Nestor waiting to rejoin there. As we see James Howard, Matt Baker battling it out for first. Everybody trying to get lined out. Kind of figure each other out, figure out the cars. Here, change of elevation. Number 5, Dean Weeks. Dean Weeks gets a little sideways. See if he can lock it up there. Oh, unfortunately, 21. 99 gets into him. That's Steve Dardarius. Kevin Rourke pushes the number 5 of Dean Weeks into the dirt. It's back up front. Matt Baker, James Howard, Siva Cornez. Your 1, 2, 3. We get an absolutely horrible blimp shot. I don't know what's going on with our blimp right now. There they go. We'll stick to this. As I said, those Wisconsin trees don't really help the blimp out too much. So Matt Baker has the lead. He is not looking like he's going to be giving it up as a 29, and James Howard is fighting behind him, trying to make it work. Siva Cornez, Austin Story, these 4 have gapped out. Chad Sander back there in 5th. Thomas Neal 6th. Mike Contino 7th. David Love 8th. Joe Stafford, another road course somebody to be reckoned with. They're in that number 20 car. Go a little bit back through the field. Seems like everybody's just kind of lining them out, figuring it out. Not too many battles. We got this one of Siva Cornez and Austin Story. You see just how hard these guys have to work going in here. Trying to pick the perfect time to pass. Of course, up here we got Howard up front, trying to get to the back of Matt Baker. Able to get to the outside, but nothing doing there as he has to check up. So he is just absolutely giving Matt Baker a run for his money. Try not to get into that right rear quarter panel. Of course, behind him, he better watch out. He's got the number 16, Siva Cornez. Battling with him. Gets crossed up. Of course, this is the Davis Brothers Roofing on your roof cam here. Davis Brothers Roofing, of course, offering you quality roofing services in the greater Tennessee area. They have been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. Of course, this is brought to you also by On Target Performance Group, Outcast Sim Paints, Butt Kicker, and of course, Davis Brothers Roofing.
Go ahead and
We got David Medeiros passing David Love. Devin Medeiros passing David Love there. That's pretty much your battle is right up front. Seba Cornez, Austin Story. These guys battling. Austin Story is going to try and make the inside. Not able to make it happen on these 90-degree turns that this track is full of. It's super hard to make a pass. Got to keep your momentum, especially with these cars. Back end loves to get out. Very low downforce back in that rear end, and that was 750 horsepower. Really want to pop out for you as we see Tom McGee getting a little bit off track there. So Barrett Coffey in 14th. He's another one to watch. Devin Medeiros, Mike Contino. Looks like Thomas Neal has just fallen victim to Joe Stafford. Let's see if he can get it back. Joe's got a lot of work to do, but this is the battle. Matt Baker, James Howard. Running 1-2. Running 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So 0.5 hundredths of a second apart from each other on lap times. As it seems like Jeff O'Rourke has had an incident. In that Cheeto car. That's Lauren Jones. And of course, some of your other sponsors here. As always, On Target Performance Group. They will improve your business performance and business profitability. We all need that. They lower business costs and get you on track for continuous business improvement. So if you have a small business like we do here at SNN, you give them guys a holler. They will help you out. A lot of ins and outs in small business, so definitely something to keep out for. Have somebody in your corner like On Target Performance Group. Seems like Austin Story is past Seba Cornez, but Seba is looking to get him back here. Coming down into turn 3. Kind of checking him up. Austin Story running that very defensive line. And of course, these guys, Matt Baker, no stranger to winning at road courses, as he has to watch behind him and make sure James Howard doesn't get by him, as he has to guard that inside with everything he can while still keeping his speed. The more these guys battle, the more it's going to give Austin Story and Seba Cornez a way to get up to him. Of course, Matt Baker just so good at blocking that line, keeping his speed. Just expertly done. Trying to get the only way to pass here, the only way you're going to be able to get by Matt Baker is by outbraking him, and he is just not giving James Howard the opportunity. As James Howard going to try and get a run coming into the final turn, unable to, gets a little sideways, gets a little squirrely. That's going to give Matt Baker enough to get out ahead, maybe be able to run faster times. Now that he doesn't have to worry about blocking that optimal line, or that braking line. He can kind of run the more optimal line. Let's see if that's going to give him, as he's already a second ahead there. Getting that killed James Howard's momentum, as Austin Story and Seba Cornez are in 3rd and 4th. And they are about 8 seconds ahead of Chad Sanner, just now crossing the line. Joe Stafford working his way through the field. He's up 8 positions so far. Behind him, Thomas Neal. In 7th, and Devin Medeiros in 8th, up 10 positions so far. So your farthest mover of the race with 5 laps of 31 down is Devin Medeiros with 10 positions gained up to that 8th spot. David Love in 9th, Mike Contino in 10th place. Mike Contino goes off track a little bit. Maybe got a little brake fade there, heavily braking track. Coming off of turn 2, which is interesting. See if Barrett Coffey and Chris Claude can capitalize on that. As we go back up here to Matt Baker and James Howard, just checking in with them. Matt Baker has capitalized on Howard's mistake, and he is gone as Austin Story and Seba Cornez are battling still for that third position. We're going to go on board with Seba Cornez. We're going to do a turn it up segment. Be sure and turn it up, crank it up, see what you do as we're going to go on board with these guys here. Show you guys kind of what's going on there. So there it is, folks. Welcome back. James Howard has inherited your lead. Matt Baker taking a little bit off track. Let's see what happens here. He's coming down into that turn 1, kind of overcooked it. Got loose. Able to recover very cleanly. Let's see one more time from that cockpit view. Just asking a little bit too much of those front tires. Able to get back in it. You see how Matt Baker's going to be able to recover. Going through the field. Austin Story still holding off Seba Cornez. Similar lap times, though. This battle's going to be going on for a while. Chad Sanner in 5th. Joe Stafford with a blazing lap time of 2:16 for his position in the field. He's about 2 seconds up on Chad Sanner. So look to him to kind of catch up with him there. Thomas Neal trying to hold off Devin Medeiros behind him. Running about 4 seconds faster. So Devin possibly going to... Oh, gets a little squirrely on the outside. Unfortunately, that's going to hurt his chances as he's going to try and take this super wide to arc it out. That's too wide. None able to turn. More back up front. James Howard in that 29 car. The ever-looming Matt Baker behind him. I don't think we're going to see a shot without at least one of these cars in it. Of course, Matt Baker went off track. He's trying to recover from that. A little bit of a three-way battle going on between here. Barrett Coffey in 10th, Mike Contino, and Nicholas Breidenbach in 12th. Battling in their own right. As the 17th position, Lauren Jones is going to start seeing something in his rear view. As he's got the leaders coming up on him. See that white and red of James Howard and Matt Baker. So we're wondering how that's going to play a factor. Is they're going to start catching lap traffic here. It's 24 laps to go. Depends on where they're going to catch them on the track. If they can keep catching them on this straightaway, that'll really help them out. I'm going to try and get a little bit of that draft on them and use that. But they've got more coming up. Dave Regal, Brian Tarnowski. Brian, of course, that is a lap car. Dean Weeks that he is racing. Kevin Rourke and Chris Claude. All people that they're looking at catching up on. As Chris is battling with Kevin Rourke there. Let's take a look at this battle for a second. As Kevin Rourke is going to complete that pass. Take a look at this. Still keeping up. So now that lap car getting involved in Austin Story's race. He's doing what he's supposed to, keeping those leaders of the line. Is at 16 Camping World, Seba Cornez. In that Toyota. So we got Chevy, Toyota. All running fantastic lap times. You can see they're kind of tapering off. They're the 215s, 217s as opposed to those fast times of like 213. Everybody just trying to find their way. Chad Sanner trying to keep Joe Stafford behind him. Seems like James Howard has an advantage here. He's about a second and 3/10 above Matt Baker. Here with 23 laps to go. catching up on some lap cars. Maybe Matt Baker just taking his time. He is running slower lap times, possibly just trying to cool down those tires, give his brakes a chance to cool down. And then, oh, Seba Cornez goes off track. Seba Cornez going off track. Don't have a look at it. But that is going to hurt him as Chad Sander and Joe Stafford, smelling blood in the water, are going to try and make their way up to Seba. As Austin Story's definitely glad that happened. Gets Seba off his back. See if Seba can step it out as Chad Sander is just still got Joe Stafford coming his way. Of course, I'd also like to remind you, not only are they brought to you by On Target Performance Group, also Outcast Sim Paints. Usually we can catch a good Outcast Sim Paint, but I'm not sure that there's one out on the track right now. Most likely there is. These guys do really good work. They can paint your car for you. They do really good work. A lot of the guys in the series like to use them. Get really good looking cars. Raymond Root, for one, he's not racing today. So we see David Regal. Seba Cornez going off track again. Let's see what happened. He was with some lap cars. Nope, just goes off on his own. As Austin Story is happy about that. Again, he's gone. So that's going to give Chad Sander time to get close to Joe Stafford. Or to Seba Cornez, I'm sorry. And that's going to, of course, the more they battle, Joe Stafford's going to be able to come up there and get involved. As Dave Regal is going to come into pits, one of our first ones to pit at 9 laps. But of course, like I was saying, Outcast Sim Paints, painted to win. Give them a shot if you need a slick paint for any of your sim vehicles. They do it all. And of course, Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Butt Kicker is a sponsor for a lot of iRacers because it really helps them out. It gives them it gives kind of a base to your chair to kind of shake it, and it shakes according to what's going on in the car. So definitely any other peripheral helps you figure out what's going on in the car. You kind of feel the turns. You can feel yourself getting loose there like Joe Stafford. Just kind of helps you out. Any extra sense you have in the car gets you a little bit faster. As Joe Stafford goes off base there a little bit. Let's see if he saves it. He's able to save it. That's going to cut into his time. Chad Sander, Seba Cornez. This is the bad thing about racing these cars the way they are with no yellows is you're going to be looking at a mistake like that's going to cost you for the entire race. You're not going to get that time back. If you racing your heart out already, you can't get that time back under a yellow or anything. So these guys are just consistency definitely key here. Is that's what we see from James Howard, running slower lap times. But his consistency is what's going to get him. As he's going to come down pit lane. James Howard coming down pit lane. Let's see, Matt Baker is going to take this opportunity to come out and get the lead. Make sure James Howard has a good pit stop here. That very, very long pit road. Of course, the downside to qualifying as well as he did, he's got a pretty harsh pit exit to make. And take lefts and rights, it seems like. Fill up that tank. He's got to get going here. Qualified third. So we got to get around that wall and come out, try and arc out this thing. As he is going to be pushing, trying to get that time back. He's now fallen back to 6th place. Joe Stafford in 5th. Chad Sanner in 4th. Seba Cornez in 3rd, and Austin Story, another one whose consistency is paying off there in 2nd place. And Matt Baker taking 1st. So seeing some pit strategy here. Looks like James Howard short pitting, trying to make it turn this race into a race of thirds. And we know Matt Baker is fast. Maybe he was falling back to try and get some tire saving, fuel saving, so he can make it to turn this race into halves. You know, when you spend 55 seconds on pit lane, you definitely are not going to get that back in time if somebody out strategies you, outthinks you in the pits. So maybe a little bit of what Matt Baker's going on here. Of course, going back to James Howard. See if Matt Baker's coming down pit road. Yes, Matt Baker is going to come down pit road, so he's going to keep it in thirds as well. Hopefully he can have a good run. So let's see James Howard. We're going to go on board with him. Another turn it up. See what's going to go on. As he's going to be working his way through a field on fresh tires. Passing Joe Stafford. So guys, be sure to turn it up. Crank it. Your TV, tablet, phone, whatever you got going on, be sure and crank that puppy up.
Thanks,
As you saw there, Kevin Rourke showing us just how hard it is to navigate those slight curves on, I guess, what you would call the backstretch. Getting a little bit out of sorts there. I've been there. James Howard, Matt Baker just inherited second place as Siva Cornez is going to come in for tires. Austin Story, fourth. David Love in fifth. Devin Medeiros still your hardest charger in 12th, or in 6th. 12 positions up. Started in 18th. Barrett Coffey started in 9th. Joe Stafford, Barrett Coffey, 9 positions up, started in 7th. Joe Stafford, 8th place right now. Chad Sander, 9th. Thomas Neal in 10th. All right, and 13 laps to go now. James Howard still leading your race. Matt Baker about 9 seconds behind him. Austin Story in 3rd place. Siva Cornez in 4th. And in 5th place, a very spread out field, Devin Medeiros and Joe Stafford in 6th. Thomas Neal 7th. Chad Sander 8th. This is your closest battle right now, Thomas Neal and Chad Sander, but look to see your leaders come in here soon. With 13 laps to go. It looks like Siva Cornez getting a little off track there. As James Howard is about to lap the 9th place car. So a lot of work being done here, getting through the field. These guys working very hard. Of course, remember the Davis Brothers Roofing, Road America, 125-ish miles. Of course, it's brought to you first by Davis Brother Roofing. Industrial, commercial, and residential roofing in the greater Tennessee area since 1983. As James Howard is going to come in with Matt Baker. So these guys are going to come in at the same time. Maybe going to give them a little bit chance to see what they've got going on, each of them. If Austin Story takes the bait as well, he's not. Austin Story's going to stay out. Maybe the only chance to get by James Howard and Matt Baker. As right as Matt pulls in. Gonna see. Oh no, James Howard possibly with a hold or some damage. What is taking him so long getting out of that pit? Oh no, let's see how he entered pit road. James Howard on pit road, losing tons of spots. Let's see if we can see just what happened as he comes into pit road. So, coming in here, take a look at that dashboard in your lower right-hand corner. As it's looks to be a $60-mile-per-hour. Let's just trying to find out what happened here. Oh, is that definitely it? Speeding down pit road, unable to get slowed down. That is going to cost James Howard the lead and possibly much more, as Matt Baker makes his pit entrance. 45 miles an hour. James Howard, very unfortunate for James Howard, the 29 Chevy, as that is a very costly mistake entering pit road, running very well, just unable to capitalize. So Austin Story, for the time being, the driver out of Valdosta, Georgia, is going to be your leader coming around, at least for now, as he last pitted at lap 11 as well. As Matt Baker is going to make it, Siva Cornell is going to pass James Howard as well. There he goes. With a 1 minute and 29 second pit stop. Very unfortunate. Austin Story, Matt Baker, Siba Cornez, and James Howard in fourth. Let's see if he can make anything happen with that. 12 laps to go here in the Davis Brothers Roofing 125. Sunday Night NASCAR. Bringing you this awesome action is myself with Sim Racing Media.
No problem, Matt.
Give us a holler if you need to have any of your one-shots or races, tournaments, championships, whatever you need broadcasted, holler at us. We would love to help you figure out how to get your show on the air. So Matt Baker, your driver out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, plays pretty close to me. Coming in here and executing on pit road. Possibly getting the win from it. We'll see if James Howard can recover from that costly 30-second penalty. Austin Story coming down pit road now. Hopefully he's able to get it slowed down there as well, as you see Matt Baker coming up now. So Matt Baker keeping it on target with On Target Performance Group. Of course, they help bring us this amazing show by SNN, Sunday Night NASCAR. They are a small business counseling group, consulting group. They can improve your business performance and profitability. Of course, lowering business costs is always good, and getting a plan that will get you on track for continuing to keep your business great is On Target Performance Group. So James Howard in second now, 23-second gap between himself and Matt Baker.
Nope.
Going to prove to be a killer penalty there with 10 laps to go. Austin Story in third. Siva Cornez going to be coming out in fourth. Devin Medeiros in fifth. Thomas Neal in sixth. David Love seventh. Joe Stafford having his own battle there with the lap car. Barrett Coffey behind him. Chad Sanner. So Chad Sanner and Barrett Coffey here actually battling for 10th. Let's watch this battle for a second. I believe Barrett Coffey started from the pits. So definitely going to be... Oh, gets a little bit of a break there as Chad Sanner goes off I'm sorry, Barrett Coffee goes off in that Busch number 4 car. So Chad Sander going to inherit 9th place. In that field of lap cars, of course, Matt Baker coming up behind him. Of course, can't forget about Outcast Sim Paints. These guys will paint you right up right, make it looking good on a broadcast such as this. Get that custom paint. Don't be running around in the default paint. Everybody will make fun of you. Be sure and go get yourself a custom paint job, and if you're gonna do it right. Contact our guys over at Outcast Sim Paints. Get that paint done up. Purdy. As a lot of these guys have. Of course, Thomas Neal, David Love, Devin Medeiros, Joe Stafford. In 8th place, just cannot find a rhythm, it seems like. Chad Sander, 59th. I'm sorry, 9th, number 59. Barrett Coffee in 10th. Mike Contino, Chris Cloud coming in. Kevin Rourke, Ryan Tarnowski. Lauren Jones in 15th, Dean Weeks. 16th, Dave Regal. Nicholas Breidenbach, all these guys probably off track right meow. As you can see, Barrett Coffee getting lapped by Matt Baker in that Forge Line 98 car. So Matt Baker now with his sights, his rearview mirror is free of James Howard, so he is able to set his sights on taking down the field, lapping up to 9th position right now. With 10 laps to go, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with you here shortly, later on in the race. So 5 laps to go now. Matt Baker still running everybody down. Now he's got Joe Stafford, the lap car, in front of him. And with 5 laps to go, it seems like James Howard is unable to recover from his penalty down pit road. But we'll see. We still got plenty of time. Matt Baker can definitely make a mistake. Coming up on some difficult lap cars. So we'll see what happens. We know in the last race at Sonoma, he was caught up, the last road course, caught up with some lap cars, and luckily it did not stop him from getting his win. But you can't rule anything out. As James Howard in 2nd, praying with everything he's got that he can make that happen. Of course, Austin Story has been creeping up on James Howard. Got to lap fresher tires. Pit strategy is out the window now. The only one that is really kind of winning the strategy game is Thomas Neal, who is only pitted once. Lap 11. Oh, no, that just hasn't updated yet. I'm sorry. He probably has pitted since lap 11. So Matt Baker, James Howard, everybody trying to make this a 2-stop race. Austin Story in 3rd. Seba Cornez in 4th. Devin Medeiros up 13 positions at this point. Our highest mover of the race, our hard charger in that gorgeous Hooters 20 car. And Joe Stafford, not too far behind him. Kind of said earlier, trying to find his stride, trying to figure out what's going on with this track. Hard to figure this track out, especially in these cars. They're not built They're not built for this track. This track is very flat, very warm. Of course, Joe Stafford has the ominous Forge Line Chevy in his rearview mirror of our leader of Matt Baker with 4 laps to go. Everybody's just trying to run their race. You see Matt Baker's times giving away that he's not really trying to push the car too much. Just wants to bring this thing home and avoid passing as many people as possible here at Road America. Everybody else doing pretty much the same. No cautions in a lot of these NASCAR leagues on road courses because it's just such a huge pain in the butt. So no cautions, definitely something that makes consistency a huge factor. Who knows if we get a caution late in this race, if James Howard is able to pass Matt Baker as he did earlier in the race, or, you know, give one of these guys that had to fight from the back, like Devin Medeiros, so if he has good laps and starts up front with the times he's running, who knows when he is going to, or where he's going to shake out in this field. As Joe Stafford gets a little bit out of sorts, he's going to just move out of the way for our leader, Matt Baker, there. Just turning laps, trying to make it through here. We do have a battle. Chad Sanner and Thomas Neal. This is a battle for 7th with 4 to go.
Yeah.
Every position counts coming in on the playoffs. So the most to gain. Chad Sanner already has a win. So with this battle between him and Neal,
About frying the laptop.
Thomas needing points to get in right now, sitting at 20th with 16 races counted. So every race matters for him as he's going to try and get these points from Chad Sanner. At 7th position. So this is what we're focusing on. This is an important battle for the playoffs. Mike Contino, Lauren Jones, Chris Claude, all trying to make it in. Dean Weeks. These are the guys you really have to watch because they are trying to make it in on points. They have not been able to catch a win yet. So these road courses where people don't show up, you can get a lot of points here. So that's what Thomas Neal's trying to do, trying to get that spot from Chad Sanner, who's already locked in. As they are battling. Let's see here, just trying to get close enough to either outbrake him, maybe beat him off a corner. There's pretty much 3 really good passing zones you got. And they're going to be coming up on one as he's just got to be in position coming into this final turn of the track. See if he can set him up here. Unable to get close enough, just kind of putting pressure on him, saying, hey, I'm here. Being careful as he's not going to get a good jump coming off of that final turn. So white flag is going to be coming around next time as Matt Baker is just running away with this thing off of a pit road mistake by James Howard. I'm going to see what we can do to get a 3-lap shootout next week as a sideshow. Get these guys in the top 5, get them a 3-lap shootout, see what they can do. No holds barred. Siva Cornez, Devin Medeiros round out your top 5. Joe Stafford, your first car lap down in 6th position. Just shows you the speed of these guys. It takes 2.5 minutes, 2.25 minutes to get through this course, and Matt Baker and James Howard have lapped up to 6th place. So absolutely devastating speed. No wonder Matt is up front and James Howard is in 2nd despite a pit road incident. Let's check in on Chad Sander and Thomas Neal's battle. As just to have 2 cars close at this point is amazing, given that this has been an hour-long race with no yellows. So these guys just staying together based on pure skill, as they've been together all race. Started 4th and 5th, I believe, or 5th and 6th. Oh, Thomas Neal goes a little bit wide. That's going to hurt him. Coming to the white flag. So we check back in with Matt Baker. Show you that gap there. As Joe Stafford, for what it's worth, is hanging in there with Matt Baker, keeping him in the front windshield there. James Howard hoping for a miracle. White flag, final lap here. Matt Baker hoping to lead it around one more time. He's got a 17-second gap. I think he can make it happen. Your only other battle here is Thomas Neal and Chad Sander. We'll see what happens there as we keep an eye on them while Matt Baker just kind of takes his time around this final lap here. As again, this is the battle between Thomas Neal and Chad Sander. Thomas Neal fighting for points and a spot in the playoffs, which this could be crucial for him. Oh, is Chad Sanders going to get a little bit wide? That's going to open the door for Thomas Neal. Of course, coming with the lap car could be a good pick. As Chad Sander getting loose again. Let's see what Thomas Neal can do here. Is he going to go a little bit wide? Maybe trying to set him up for a pass coming into this final 90-degree left. Lap car of 32. That is going to be Brian Tarnowski holding that outside line, letting him through. Thomas Neal unable to capitalize yet. There's plenty of race left. These are the only guys that are battling for position, which is why we're watching them right now on the final lap instead of your leader, Matt Baker, who's checked out. And he's got his screen time, so we're going to go back to this race here. This is Chad Sander, your driver from Smithfield, PA, and Thomas Neal from Spartansburg, South Carolina. These guys a stone's throw away from each other. Not really. It's coming into your final turn here. Matt Baker taking the checkered flag. Right there. Chad Sander trying to look to the inside. He's going to get blocked by Thomas Neal. Let's see if he's going to make it. Coming to it. What do we got? Unable to complete that pass. Fantastic battle for 7th and 8th as James Howard coming across the line with Austin Story. And we've got a while before Siva Cornez is going to make it. So Matt Baker, your leader, your winner, dominating in that last half after the mistake on pit road takes James Howard out of it. As we're going to let Matt take his victory lap. Trying to go full speed back here so he can give them guys a show, give those spectators a show, and get to the front stretch where he's going to burn it down. Hopefully. As we are going to go to our patented James Riles drone cam. Hopefully we don't biff this. We can catch Matt Baker as he is going to come to your lead.
Oh my God, Zeba.
Bear with me here. See your flag man waving that checkered flag. Barry the flag guy, affectionately known as here he comes, folks. Matt Baker. Gonna burn it down for you. Doing the Kyle Busch. Oh no, the 2020 car gets in the way, gives him a little bump. He's going to help him out. That's going to send Matt Baker out of there. The 20 car of, who was that? Devin Medeiros. Accidentally probably getting him into him there. As that is going to send us home. Let me get you guys your official overall results. As we don't much need the track map anymore. There we go. So Matt Baker, Archer Brother Esports, your first place finisher, your winner of the race, getting another win. That's his second win of the season. Just helping him out in the end of the playoffs. James Howard in second, Austin Story in third, Seba Cornez fourth, Devin Medeiros coming up 13 positions to get fifth place. Joe Stafford sixth place, Chad Sander seventh, Thomas Neal fighting a hard-fought battle, coming up short, but overall a great finish in eighth position. David Lowe in ninth, Barrett Coffey rounding out your top 10, Mike Contino in 11th position, Chris Claude 12th, Lauren Jones 13th, Dean Weeks 14th, Brian Tarnowski in 15th, and Kevin Rourke in 16th. Dave Regal 18th, Nicholas Breidenbach 19th, Tom McGee in 20th, 21st is Robert Nestor, and 22nd is Jeff O'Rourke. So that's going to do it for myself with Sim Racing Media, your very special production of the SNN Road America 125, brought to you by Davis Brothers Roofing. Be sure and check us out Sundays. Every Sunday we have Sunday Night Racing, 7:30 Central, so be sure and check them out. They're going to be in Atlanta this week, so be sure and give them a shout. Show us up and tell us in the chat how you felt about the video. And as always, we'll see you next week.